Anyhow, my name's Salva. You're at the Salbatage booth.
Yeah, SkaterCon 6.
So anyhow, this June '87 Thrasher was my first kind of like Thrasher cover. I never got a cover in skateboarder. I was kind of bummed actually. I never got a, but whatever. That's not a big deal. I got a whole bunch of coverage and centerfolds and all that.
Yeah.
But anyhow, this was 6th Street Wave,
And is that a ditch?
that's a famous ditch by my house.
Okay.
Off of 6th Street and Grove.
Gotcha.
It was a big flood control thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've been skating there since we were kids, back in the 70s. And we would always go there back in this time frame. This is like 86, 87. We would always go there to warm up.
Gotcha.
When people would come to town.
Sure.
We would always take people there first. It was like a gnarly kind of like walls, you know what I mean? As it kind of comes down, the banks are super mellow. But as it goes down and down, it goes to
Funnel.
vert all the way through, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
back where there was just a line where the banks kind of meet the flood control channel itself. So there's a line here where it kind of gets steep, and if you hit this wall in that zone, almost like a wall ride, you were like, "Fuck, you're fucking sick to go in that zone."
Yeah.
So anybody, whether you're front side or back side in that zone, was like, "Dude, that's sick." But anyway, we'd always like try to do like one big sweeping backside carve and a big sweeping frontside carve, which is where this took place.
Yeah.
But then once you come down to the bottom, at 6th Street Wave, right in the center of the whole banks where they kind of come down, there's this big channel kind of cut out for the water to kind of go through. So you either have to ollie it, or back in those days, we used to bunny hop it.
Okay. Yeah.
Or just
Tug it,
pressure, or whatever. And if you hit that thing, you fucking eat shit and die. So you didn't want to hit that. But so that's kind of one thing I kind of remember about 6th Street Wave. Steve Keenan, he took the photo.
Yep.
Now this funny thing is about these boards. I used to always stick indie stickers on my on the rail because we get photo incentive.
Yeah.
So I was trying to get any kind
That's the best way to do it. Yeah.
So that's how that is. So as far as this cover goes, in my opinion, this is my favorite cover because it is a dolphin pool. One of my favorite tricks that's like a lean a tail off the hip or going through the hip, like or it's probably either coming in or coming off, or you know what I mean. So I don't know if it was a lean a tail or a lean a tail slide, something along those lines.
Right.
But this is one of my favorite pools. And even in a nightclub, I said if they had one choice to skate one pool again, I would skate this pool again because that pool was fucking fantastic. It was phenomenal. It was fucking big.
What town?
It was in Claremont.
Okay.
It was huge too. It was like we were skating pipeline at this time, so coming from pipeline here was like we were rolling this pool. We were doing backside airs. We were doing like 3-foot airs in this pool. It was that good.
Right.
Inverts. I did Andrix in it. Mickey did big airs.
Yeah.
I mean, all of us ripped that pool.
Right.
And all of us had covers there. Like I had covers there. I had a poster, also like a big frontside air poster from Santa Cruz in the same pool that Keenan shot during the same session.
Okay.
So I was always super stoked on this. And again, Steve Keenan took this shot. Both Badlands kind of covers. Some skate pots in the Badlands, which are cool. I like to always have a baldy shot cover. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Now these, I remember doing this with Mickey at Montclair when it first opened.
Okay.
And it doubles there with Tony Hawk too. There was another photo of that. And that was always cool to go do doubles with my brother because I thought me and Mickey were some of the best doubles in the old days by far.
Yep.
And then me and Lance would always do doubles through the years if I wasn't doing doubles with Mickey. So Lance talked me into doing this with him one day. And he called me.
Is that at his house?
Yeah, that's at his old pool at his house. And he called me one day and said, "Hey man, we're gonna do this like photo shoot. Can you come over and skate with me?" And he didn't even tell me it was gonna be on a cover shot. He didn't even tell me. So and I got there, they kind of like, "Hey man, we're gonna do this shot and that's what we might put on a what? What do you mean?" And I think Lance went out of his way to kind of get me in there with him, which is really cool, and I appreciate that. Because Lance is always trying to look out for the older dudes and give them some props, and like all his kind of dudes he gets inspired from. So that I'm always stoked to do anything with Lance, to be honest with you. And
Who shot that one? You remember?
This one, God, I don't remember who shot that. I think it was Swift maybe who shot that one, I think. I don't think it was Grant. That's a good question.
Humphries would have been there with Lance, I guess. Jon Humphries. Okay.
All right, so Humphries shot that one, yeah. But I remember that shot, setting it all up, and it was super sick. And I have to say that pool was one of my favorite pools to skate ever. It was Lance's pool. And I had an indie ad there. I had my little indie thing where I did the arrow with the stair rails. Okay. And for me, I like this pool because we like to go over all the obstacles. You know what I mean? And that was one of the funnest things to go there. So me and Lance would always bust. Every time I go there, I always got all the obstacles out. And I couldn't put the obstacles away so I cleared them all first. And then once we cleared them all, then we could put them all away.
Yeah.
And people used to get so mad at me sometimes because I'd go back there and sometimes I'm trying to do frontside airs over the diving board and I'm just throwing my board down, and Yvette, his wife's just like me because they're I know, but they're super Christians. They're not they're not really down for me to be cussing in their backyard. And at one point she comes and Lance doesn't say anything, and and I feel something hit me in the back. And I'm, what the fuck is that? And I take another run, didn't even think about it, and she was throwing soap at me because of wash my dirty mouth out, right? And then I couldn't make it again. I'm like, fuck! I'm like hitting my board on the ground, fuck! And then eventually Lance was like, Steve, and that's kind of getting up. And then she threw some more soap at me and hit me in the shoulder again. And then I saw it that time. And it's funny thing, I still have the soap she threw at me in my garage. I part of my little Salbatage collection thing I was going to make into something. It's just still sitting there. And so that was all about this. But anyhow, this one when we went to El Gato Classic.
Yeah.
At the Palm Springs. And that's always kind of fun. And we were doing some airs and some lean tail slide and that kind of shit. So again, it's just like, just stoked to have any shot, you know what I mean? And being there. So good stuff, man.
Fabulous. Thanks, Steve.